What's up, geeks? It's your boy Justin Prince. I'm right here with Rick Marson of ZOMs.
Hi.
Anyways, we're here checking it out. I was walking by the booth. I thought to myself, these are interesting. Zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies.
Yeah.
So let me know a little bit about your brand. I mean, you're the main designer of everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. ZOMs is kind of just as the overarching story of it. It's a world where basically everything is a zombie now. The zombies, the ZOMs, all the humans, mostly are zombies. There's just the one guy, Steve, is the only guy who has survived so far. I call him Survivor Steve. Yeah. His roommate Horace, who is this guy here, the original zombie as far as we know, the originator of the entire plague. It's basically just chasing him around the world. Yeah, basically Patient Zero. So it's the story of Steve kind of working his way up to being the only person. So the story starts out at the beginning when Horace is the only zombie and kind of continues till the point when Steve is the only human. And through that you meet all the other characters and it ties together. I have like a storyline, I have a webcomic that I'm working on that explains how Horace became a zombie, how the other characters become zombies based on what Horace does, how Steve survives and continues to not be a zombie, and what happens to him once everyone else is a zombie.
So everything in this world has become zombies.
Yeah.
So we got inanimate things like not
inanimate.
Not inanimate things. I mean non-human things like bees become zombies.
Well, the zombies sort of was my first foray into non-human zombies. I came up with the idea actually because I picked up a stress ball that was an egg shape, and I thought this is the shape of a cute little zombie, and then or a cute little bee. And I thought, well, I already do zombies. I'll do a zombie. So I started making zombies or zombies. I have to stress the bee part.
Yes.
Literally around egg-shaped stress balls. I would cut the material out and sew them into the actual stress ball, or sew them around the actual stress ball, and that's how it became. That's where the zombies.
So the zombies came from. So I think that these are new.
These are my most recent thing. Actually, there's a company called Rar's Toys. They already do a bunch of resin characters, mostly narwhals. I met them down at Designer Con last year, and they live down. I forget where I am. I'm in Seattle now. They live down in Southern California or Central California in San Francisco, which is where I just moved. So we got together. One of them, it's two girls. One of them works at DreamWorks, so she does 3D modeling and stuff, and she has one of the Form 1s from Pixar. So she actually modeled this based on my designs and printed it out on a 3D printer, and then Victoria, the other one who works there for ours, actually did the casting and then gave them to me. I had to finish them and polish them up, prime them, and paint them. So this is like the new thing that I'm trying to do, and I would like to eventually make rotocast, like the vinyl figures. I'd like to do blind box reviews and actually get like other artists to do designs. I think that would be really cool too. That would be a lot of fun. You know, those blind boxes are really popular nowadays. Yeah, I love blind boxes. And do you have any favorite ones that you've been buying lately? I usually go with the Dunnies.
Yeah, the Dunnies are always a fun one to go with. I mean, how many series is that now?
I don't know, because they don't do it by series number, they do it by year.
Or year number, they use by year?
Yeah. Marty Ball.
Is it?
Something like that. It's like Carnival and Mardi Gras put together.
Mardi Ball?
Mardi Ball. I don't know, there's some.
It's always hard to keep track of the Dunnies, and especially with every other blind boxes. There are so many of them.
And it gets to the point now where like I go on Instagram and I look for cool people who are doing customs on resin and stuff like that to get ideas for like different things that I can do. And I cannot tell if it's a person who's just buying Dunnies and like showing what they've gotten out of the blind boxes, or if it's something they've actually made, because Dunnies have started going so far from the original shape. Now they've got like all these extra pieces and stuff, which are awesome. But I can't tell. The line is blurred so much between custom and mass produced that it's really difficult to tell something.
Have you thought about doing maybe that for your zombie line, or for your zombies? Maybe doing blank ones and then see how it goes in that?
Yeah, no, I would love to do blank ones. I want to start out with like actual designer ones, but I eventually would love to have blanks.
Blanks that people can play with.
And as far as like the plush, that would be a little trickier, because then people would have to have like needles and thread to be able to sew this stuff on.
But that would be a new thing. I mean, the one thing about those custom do-it-yourself figures and toys is always the resin figures, the plastic ones. It'd be so cool. There's a blank zombie, and people can make their little clothes, dress them up like the Avengers or some junk.
Yeah. Well, I've been toying with the idea of creating like costumes that I can put on. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. I think you can see up there, I've got like a banana costume for him, and I've done a bunch. I've made like a cyborg chorus and a bunch of other stuff, as well as a bunch of customs like Roger. And all the characters up there have been plush at some point. But yeah, I would love to do that. You know what would be better if you made Velcro pieces. Kind of like, you remember the fuzzy felts and like the color cords and stuff?
The old toys were like that. You just kind of stick a different outfit on them each time.
Yeah, exactly. You
have different facial expressions.
Yeah, exactly. Different faces, different mouths.
It's like a plushy Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It's a great idea. So I mean, we're talking about the plushies. The plush toys are kind of like the main draw of your brand.
Yeah.
So how did that start out? How did that come up? Because I know you mentioned that earlier off camera. You mentioned you started on Kickstarter. It used to be an iPhone game.
Yeah. Did the Kickstarter. Didn't go through it. Didn't get it back. It was the very beginning of Kickstarter. And not really understood how it worked.
Yeah.
But they loved the toys, which was one of the back end. So I started making them and selling them on Etsy, the handmade website.
Yeah, the handmade website.
Which people really loved. So I thought, okay, well, I've got now people who know what I do. So I'll do a Kickstarter for the plushies. So I did a Kickstarter for Forrest, and I got it back. And that's how I was able to get all of these mass produced. And I'm hoping to do pretty soon Kickstarter to actually have some resin bees. But yeah, Horace was the first guy I made. I've done a couple of things for art shows. These two here were for Stuff This at the Rivet Gallery in Ohio. And then I do a bunch of customs and different things for them. But the cool thing about each of these guys is that there's a code on the tag.
Yeah.
On my website, I've got the ZOM outbreak map.
The ZOM outbreak.
Basically, it's a Google map of the world. And when you buy one of these, you can put your code in, and you can actually get the ability to report your own zombie outbreak. So I've got this Google map of the world, and I've got all these little zombies all over it. And you click on it, and it brings up what looks like a journal entry about their own personal outbreak. You put photos and stuff in, take pictures for us. I hope eventually for it to turn into kind of like the roaming gnome, where people actually take them to different locations and like take pictures. And I'm working to get it interfaced with Facebook and stuff so people can follow each other and create like little survival groups and stuff like that.
So you haven't fully given up on integrating it with technology?
Yeah, no, and I totally expect at some point to get back around to making the iPhone game. It's just instead of going iPhone game to toys, I'll go toys to iPhone. So yeah, I mean, expect at some point to see a ZOMs because it will happen.
I mean, have you seen speaking of gaming, with the newest generation of gaming coming out, with the PlayStation 4, the indie development is so much more accessible to that now. There's Steam Greenlight, so a lot of game developers, especially like how many years ago was it that you tried to fund the iPhone game?
4 maybe? I don't know, whenever Kickstarter was.
Yeah, it was about, I think that was 4 years ago that it first...
I'm sure that I could probably get into it.
It's a completely different landscape now, I've noticed, especially with self-publishing your games. Back then, you know, if you didn't want to put it on Google Play or iTunes or something, you would be hard-pressed to find avenues for it. You'd be stuck either making a Flash game or doing something like a Facebook game. But with the major game companies now pushing for indie developers, PlayStation, even Xbox has changed their tune. Xbox One making dev kits more accessible to people. Steam Greenlight. I mean, would you perhaps do a console game if you had the ability to shoot?
Oh yeah, a console game would be great. I mean, originally the whole mechanics of the game that I had envisioned works for the iPhone and the iPad and stuff like that. But they would probably work just as well, possibly even better with a joystick. You'd have more area to play in on the screen. I would certainly be willing to do the game in any kind of format. I imagine that I would go from the smaller to the larger, but I mean any direction I can go. And now that I'm my base of operations is in Mountain View, California, it's basically Facebook, Google.
Yeah, you're right there in the middle of
everywhere.
All the
Apple, everybody's there. So it shouldn't be too hard once I'm ready to go with it to actually get a team together to start working on this and actually build it.
In fact, you've heard of like the Oculus Rift or the PlayStation Morpheus, right?
Oh yeah.
Now that would be kind of fun to do like a VR ZOMs game where you are Steve.
Yeah.
You are Steve. Everyone is coming after you, but they're so cute. You don't know what to do. I mean, should I hug them? Should I run from them?
Yeah.
It's the conundrum of zombies, because usually you think of a zombie, you think of The Walking Dead, you think of a shambling corpse that wants to eat your flesh and your brains. But these guys are so freaking cute.
Yeah, originally that was kind of the thing. I was trying to take all of the things that make a zombie, exposed brains, guts, blood, missing parts, and try to figure out how I could make it something that people would actually want to hug.
Yeah.
And that was sort of, I was thinking,
zombies.
Yeah, I was thinking, how could a zombie market itself so that instead of people running away, they would want to run towards? And that's sort of where this all sort of came from.
Right on. Well, I think that's the perfect way to sum up what ZOMs is. Making zombies huggable. Fantastic. That was Rick Marson.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. I look forward to seeing some more awesome stuff from you.
Yeah, great. I will see you around.
Get lifted, guys.